In a reality TV world where most families fade from view the moment the cameras stop rolling, the Waldrops are proving they were never just a show. They were a story people genuinely connected with. Even years after Sweet Home Sextuplets ended, Courtney and Eric Waldrop are still giving fans something even more meaningful than weekly episodes. Real-life updates that feel raw, emotional, and incredibly relatable. And in 2026, their journey isn't slowing down. It's evolving in ways that hit even deeper. From the very beginning, the Waldrops' story stood apart. When TLC first introduced their journey in September 2018, the network emphasized just how unprecedented it was. Cameras started rolling before the sextuplets were even born, allowing viewers to witness not only the arrival of 6 fragile newborns, but the emotional, physical, and spiritual preparation leading up to that life-changing moment. By then, Eric and Courtney were already parents to their oldest son, Sailor, as well as twin boys, Wales and Bridge, making the idea of welcoming 6 more children at once both miraculous and overwhelming. Their path to becoming parents of 9 children was anything but straightforward. After welcoming Sailor, the couple experienced the heartbreak of miscarriage, followed by a diagnosis that would shape their future decisions. Courtney had a clotting disorder that complicated pregnancy. Determined to grow their family, they turned to fertility treatments, which led to the birth of their twin boys, Wales and Bridge, in 2012. Even then, their journey wasn't without setbacks. Another attempt to expand their family ended in miscarriage, a loss that Courtney openly described as devastating, especially given how easily she could conceive, but how difficult it was to carry to term. So when they tried once more, this time with a carefully monitored low-dose fertility treatment designed to minimize risk, no one expected what came next. Instead of 1 baby, or even 2, they learned they were expecting 6. It was a moment that felt almost surreal, equal parts blessing and shock, and one that would ultimately redefine their lives forever. On December 11, 2017, that reality became tangible. Courtney went into early labor, her body already pushed to its limits. What followed was a delivery that required a team of around 40 medical professionals, nurses, specialists, surgeons, and more, all working together to safely bring 6 tiny lives into the world. Each baby weighed between just over 2 pounds and nearly 3, a reminder of how delicate their start truly was. Those babies, Rain, Lake, Rivers, Tag, Blue, and Rawlings, quickly became household names among fans. Their unique names sparked conversation, but for Courtney, they were deeply intentional. Even long before motherhood, she had collected names she loved, writing them down in her Bible, never imagining she would one day need so many. As viewers watched the sextuplets grow from fragile newborns into crawling toddlers and beyond, one thing became clear. While the chaos never truly disappeared, the Waldrops adapted. And now, in 2026, that evolution is more visible and more emotional than ever. In a recent family photo that instantly captured fans' attention, Courtney stood beside Eric, surrounded by all 9 of their children, freezing a quiet moment in a life that's usually anything but calm. But it wasn't just the image that resonated. It was her caption, "You'll never be too big for us to hold." That single line carries the kind of emotional weight every parent understands. Because when you look at the photo, one thing becomes undeniable. The Waldrop kids are growing up fast. The sextuplets, once tiny, fragile babies who required constant care, are now energetic, expressive, and full of personality. The girls are stepping into their own through dance and creativity, while the boys are leaning into sports, especially baseball, clearly inspired by their older brothers. And then there are the older kids, Sailor, along with twins Wales and Bridge, who are no longer just the big brothers, but teenagers stepping into leadership roles within the family. And that's where the emotional shift really begins, because beneath the smiles and coordinated outfits is something quieter, something bittersweet. Courtney has been open about it. How quickly time is moving, especially in a household where life never slows down. Between school schedules, sports practices, and everyday chaos, the days blur together. One minute they're climbing into your arms, and the next, they're not. That feeling shows up again and again in her recent posts, not as sadness, but as awareness. A realization that these moments, messy, loud, exhausting, are also fleeting. At the same time, Courtney is beginning to shift her focus in a way fans haven't seen before. For years, everything revolved around raising 9 kids, and understandably so. But now she's opening up about something more personal, her relationship with Eric and the importance of slowing down together. In one of her most heartfelt reflections yet, Courtney described their life as a whirlwind, which feels like an understatement considering everything they've navigated. But what stood out wasn't the chaos. It was a small, simple moment. Eric asked her to come help feed the cows late at night after a long day. She didn't feel like going. It was late. She was tired, and like any busy parent, she just wanted to rest. But then he said something that shifted everything. "It's a moment together we can't get back." And that's the kind of perspective that seems to be defining this new chapter of their lives. Courtney admitted she's learning to say yes more, to those quiet, ordinary moments that don't feel important at the time but become the ones you wish you could relive. And in a life as busy as theirs, that choice means everything. That same sense of gratitude and intentional living carries into their family milestones, like their Easter 2026 celebration. In a bright, joy-filled family photo, the Waldrops appeared coordinated, peaceful, and grounded. Something that feels especially meaningful given how hectic their lives can be. Courtney's caption, "Thankful to serve a risen Lord and Savior," reflects the foundation that continues to guide them, even as everything around them changes. But while the family is clearly staying rooted, the kids themselves are stepping into entirely new stages of life, and fans are feeling every bit of it. Sailor, the oldest, is at the center of some of the most emotional updates this year. After missing his entire sophomore baseball season due to a back injury, his return to the field wasn't just an update. It was a comeback story. Courtney described the moment with pride and emotion, sharing how difficult it was to watch him sit out something he loved so much. But instead of letting that setback define him, Sailor came back stronger, more determined, and ready to reclaim his place. And it doesn't stop there. In another moment that had fans doing a double take, Courtney shared photos from Sailor's junior prom. And suddenly, the little boy viewers once watched on TV looked like a young man stepping confidently into adulthood. The reaction online was immediate. Disbelief, admiration, and a wave of nostalgia from fans who couldn't believe how fast time had passed. That same feeling carried through another major milestone, Wales and Bridge turning 14. In a heartfelt birthday tribute, Courtney reflected not just on who they are now, but what they represent in her life. Watching them grow into young men is both exciting and emotional, especially knowing how much their presence shaped the early years of their family before the sextuplets arrived. And then there are the everyday moments that somehow feel just as significant. Like the night Courtney and Eric surprised all 9 kids with a new puppy. It wasn't a simple reveal. It was a full evening event, tracking down each child as they came and went from activities, building anticipation until everyone could be together. And when the surprise finally happened, the reaction said it all. Pure joy, shock, and instant love. In a house already full of energy, the puppy quickly became the center of attention, spoiled, adored, and completely embraced. Or the moment Courtney shared about the Waldrop sextuplets, 3 boys stepping into a more competitive level of baseball. What once felt like casual play has now become something more serious, more structured. And for Courtney, that shift represents another layer of growing up. She joked about whether she and Eric could survive 9 kids going in every direction. But underneath the humor is a real truth. Life isn't slowing down. It's speeding up. And yet, she's choosing to embrace it. Loving it hard now, because when it ends, we're going to miss these exhausting days. She wrote, a line that perfectly captures the mindset she's leaning into. Even the Waldrop girls are having their moment, stepping into the spotlight in a completely different way. In a stunning photo, 3 of the girls posed in bright pink dance outfits, confident and poised, showing just how much they've grown. But what made the moment special wasn't just how they looked, it was what Courtney said about them. These are girls who spend their days running around ball fields, getting dirty, keeping up with their brothers, and then somehow transform into graceful performers when the moment calls for it. At the end, even without cameras, even without weekly episodes, their story is still unfolding. And for those who have been watching from the beginning, it still feels just as meaningful as ever.